Hey, everybody, welcome to Contest Prep University. I'm Joe Klemczewski with Adam Atkinson. We're going to start a series called Why Won't These Peaking Myths Just Die? And thankfully, I had a protocol sent to me this week by somebody who is a coach that is obviously not current with science or reality. So we're going to go through some of these things as a bit of a case study. It's kind of like an unboxing video or a reaction video because I just sent these to Adam. He's reviewing them in real time. I glanced at them just slightly to get a view, a taste of what exactly the flow is. But let's talk about this first episode. When do we cut water? When do we get in a sauna? When do I have to, quote, dehydrate and get shredded because it's all, water at the end? And that, Adam, was actually asked of me by a client of mine just in the last couple of weeks. So even people who hire me have not yet caught up to the last 2 or 3 decades of science when it comes to this. So as I'm looking over this peak week, I have spread out in front of me from a different coach. There are places where starting, let's see, at the 4-day mark, you start dropping water. I guess it's 3 days before you are, or is it just, let me see here. Let me get my bearings here. Okay, so it's just 2 days before is when you start dropping water. So this particular coach, I guess that's kind of normal. The day before, they go to just 0 water. Matter of fact, it says, if you need any water, just sip on a cap, like a water bottle cap. That's all you get if you really need it. And that's the day of the show. The day before, it's just, you're dehydrating, it looks like. But what do you think first, Adam? Before I'm going to review some of that again. Why don't you go ahead and talk to me about how you manage water? Let's go from that other side.
Yeah, context is always key. Per division, if somebody is making weight, we may need to lower water, but it certainly is not to make them look better in any way, shape, or form. I think that's where a lot of this folklore kind of comes from is, bodybuilders who stayed dry up until showtime. Yeah, and then the whole sipping out of the cap. I mean, that's such a small amount. It's such a rough idea of what someone could do. You could just pour tons of caps and consume 8 to 12 ounces by that point. So there's just a lot of problems with how this is laid out. But, water, the muscle's 70% water, like the volume of your muscle tissue. So why would you cut it? Unless you're too big for your division. But when you sent me these, this clearly looked like what I like to call a peak week plan versus a peak week coach. So they may as well tag us when you win at the end, or if you win.
Yeah. So just to clarify, the first 2 days, this is a 4-day plan, what I have, including contest day. So 3 days prior, it's actually titled water load. The next day, water load. Then the day before the contest, you have a maximum of 1 liter of water, and then you're just sipping on a cap. But we'll get to this at the end. There are a couple more liquids on contest day that are more humorous than actually hydrating. But to your point, water, 75% muscle. The only thing this person is going to do is look very, very flat. Having a liter of water the day before and then just sipping on a cap if you need it. That's maximum, a cap here and there. I don't know why you would need it at that point. If somebody said only if you need it, I think a good athlete is going to say, well, then I probably shouldn't need it. Like if you're not supposed to have it. And so probably most people are going to have none. But even things like the sauna, the day before, let's say the day before the contest, all the way up till they went to bed, if they drank any amount of water they wanted, Adam, how are they going to look the next day? Just on water alone, without any carb or mineral context.
If they just have water?
Well, I mean, if they did not limit their water whatsoever, they just went to bed the day before the contest, woke up, and had never changed their water, would they be retaining water all of a sudden? Would anything be different?
It wouldn't be different from the day before. And if they're looking great the day before, why change it? They'll certainly look worse when they cut it.
So I told my client when he asked, when do we cut water? When do I get in the sauna? When do I start doing that? I've got a sauna. Get in it, all day long if you need me to. I said, last week you were drinking 2 to 3 gallons of water a day. How did you look? And he was like, oh my gosh, like massive, full, strided, hard. And I said, do you know why? Because you had freaking water in your muscle tissue. That's why. If we
Mhm.
start dehydrating, you're gonna look, and you will, you're gonna look like you lost 10 pounds. You will lose 10 pounds because it's going to be water mass, water volume in your muscle tissue. So I think we're kicking a dead horse at this point, Adam. Let's move on to the next episode. But for those of you in our quest for just trying to kill these peaking myths, if you still don't believe us that you need water in your peak week plan, right up, as a matter of fact, probably increasing water on contest day, stay with us through the end. You'll see how all this comes into context as we roll through the rest of the series. See you next time.